Okay, so you remember XRP going on that wild ride after the U.S. elections, right?
Right.
Like hitting almost $3 a token.
Yeah, it was
It's
incredible.
calmed down a bit now, around 250, but it got me thinking, what would it actually take for XRP to hit $1 trillion market cap? Is that even possible?
It's the question on everyone's mind right now, and it's interesting because some AI tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity have actually taken a look at this and pointed to some really interesting factors.
Wow, so to start us off, just how high would XRP have to go to hit $1 trillion?
Well, based on the circulating supply right now, it would need to hit about 1750 a token.
Wow.
That's a big jump from where we are now.
Yeah, no small feat. But I mean, we are in a bull market, so
Yeah.
who knows, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as crazy as it sounds.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are some things that could actually push XRP that high?
Well, one of the biggest factors is just the overall market sentiment, right? So like all the positive vibes going on in the crypto world right now, that definitely benefits XRP. And if that continues, it'll create fertile ground for growth.
Right, that makes sense. And I mean, there's also the whole adoption thing, right? Like if XRP really becomes the go-to for cross-border payments, that could be huge.
Absolutely, like widespread adoption by financial institutions, that could significantly increase the demand for XRP. And of course, you can't forget about partnerships.
Right.
Like imagine if Ripple teams up with even more banks and payment providers.
Yeah.
That could seriously boost transaction volume and liquidity, which would be a major catalyst.
For sure. And then there's also Ripple's upcoming stablecoin RLUSD. I'm curious how that will affect things.
Yeah, that's a great point. Stablecoins are becoming like a really crucial part of the whole crypto ecosystem, and having one so closely tied to Ripple could have a really positive impact on XRP's price, especially with the unique algorithm they're using.
Okay, so lots of potential for growth there. But I'm sure there are also some challenges, right? What are some of the obstacles that XRP might run into?
Well, competition's a big one. You got those well-established stable coins like USDT and USDC. Those guys already have a big chunk of the market.
Right.
And there's competition within the XRPL network itself.
Yeah.
XRP's got to fight ahead of it to really stand out.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's always the regulatory landscape to consider. Things are looking a bit more optimistic with Trump back in office and his, pro-crypto stance, but who knows what'll happen long term.
Totally. The regulatory environment to really help or hinder XRP depending on how things evolve.
Yeah.
ChatGPT actually brought up an interesting point about the potential for selling pressure from Ripple Labs themselves.
Oh, right, because they periodically release XRP that they hold. I remember reading about that.
Exactly. And those periodic releases, they could create downward pressure on the price, making it harder for it to really take off.
So it seems like XRP is facing this balancing act, right? On one side, you have things pushing it upward, like positive market sentiment, the potential for widespread adoption, these strategic partnerships. But on the other side, you have these potential roadblocks like competition, regulatory uncertainty, and this selling pressure.
Yeah.
It's tough to say which will be more influential in the end.
Yeah, it really is. And that's what makes it so exciting to watch. Paying close attention to how these factors play out will be key to understanding whether XRP can actually reach that ambitious milestone.
It really is kind of wild to think that we're even talking about $1 trillion market cap. Like, it's a possibility. I mean, just a few years ago, that was unheard of for any cryptocurrency.
I know, right? It's crazy how fast the crypto world moves. What seems impossible one day could be reality the next.
So for everyone listening, what do you think? Do you believe XRP can pull this off? Is it a road to $1 trillion paved with opportunity, or is it riddled with obstacles? What's your gut feeling?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what you all think.
We'll be diving into more detail on all this in just a bit, so stay tuned. Things are about to get really interesting.
It's really fascinating to see how much the crypto landscape has shifted.
Yes.
Especially after that wild ride XRP took post-election.
I know, right?
It really shook things up.
Who could have predicted that surge?
Yeah.
It's like everyone suddenly realized XRP's potential.
Right.
Do you think that momentum can be sustained?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
A big part of that initial surge was tied to, the decrease in regulatory uncertainty.
Right.
Trump's win definitely signaled a more crypto-friendly environment.
At least here in the U.S.
Yeah, exactly, at least here.
But we can't just rely on that alone, can we?
No, we can't.
There's still so many unknowns.
Yeah, and even with a pro-crypto president,
Right.
the regulations themselves could still go in any direction.
Yeah, true. And we also have to think about what's happening globally.
Oh, absolutely.
Other countries are making their own moves, and that could impact XRP's adoption just as much as anything happening here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces keep changing.
Right.
But one piece that does seem pretty clear is the importance of real-world use cases.
Mm-hmm.
Like if XRP can really become that bridge currency for cross-border payments, I mean, that's a game changer.
I completely agree. And that's where those partnerships become so critical.
Right.
The more banks and payment providers that adopt XRP, the more volume and liquidity we'll see flowing through the network.
It's all about creating that network effect. Right?
Yeah.
The more it's used, the more valuable it becomes.
Exactly.
But even with all that, can XRP really stand out against those giants like USDT and USDC?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Those stable coins have such a huge head start. They're deeply embedded in the whole DeFi ecosystem. But XRP does have some advantages.
Like what?
Well, it's known for its speed and low transaction fees.
Yeah, those are incredibly low.
And it's purpose-built for these cross-border payments,
Right.
which is a huge market that's only going to keep growing.
Do you think RUSD, Ripple's own stablecoin, could give it an edge there?
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Having a stablecoin that's tightly integrated with the XRP ledger could make it more attractive for certain use cases.
Like?
Especially anything involving cross-border transactions.
Interesting.
Speed, low-cost A&D stability.
Yeah.
That's a powerful combination.
They really are building a whole ecosystem around XRP.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
But it all comes back to adoption, right?
You hit the nail on the head.
If people don't actually use it, the tech doesn't really matter.
Yeah, technology's one thing, but getting people to change their habits and adopt something new,
Right.
that's a whole other challenge.
It's like that chicken and the egg thing.
Exactly.
Do you need the perfect tech first or the users to drive the development?
I think it's probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
You need a strong foundation, but user feedback and real-world testing are absolutely crucial to refine and improve things.
Yeah, that makes sense. So do you think XRP could hit that $1 trillion market cap in the next few years?
Honestly, it's impossible to say for sure.
Yeah.
There are just too many variables at play.
Right.
But if Ripple can really execute their vision and gain some real traction with adoption,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility.
That's what makes it so exciting, right?
Exactly.
The potential is just enormous.
It is. And even if XRP doesn't reach $1 trillion market cap,
Okay.
the technology and the innovations happening around it
Yeah.
are going to have a major impact on the future of finance.
And that's something worth paying attention to,
Absolutely.
regardless of what happens to the price.
Yeah.
Speaking of price, remember those AI tools we mentioned?
Yeah.
They offered some really specific insights into what could drive XRP's growth.
Yes, they highlighted some really interesting factors.
Like, for instance, ChatGPT talked about how crucial that overall market sentiment is. As long as the bull market continues,
Right.
XRP has the potential to ride that wave and see some serious gains.
It even hinted that XRP could hit double digits.
Double digits, wow.
Yeah, but it's important to remember those are just projections.
Of course.
There are no guarantees in this market.
You're right, and Perplexity echoed that importance of adoption levels, specifically for cross-border payments.
Right.
If financial institutions really start using it on a large scale,
Yeah.
the demand could explode.
And a critical point.
Yeah,
We've already seen a huge increase in institutional interest in crypto.
right.
And if that continues, XRP is well positioned to benefit.
Oh, sure. And then there's that whole world of partnerships.
Yeah.
Imagine if Ripple Links deals with even more big banks and payment providers. That would increase transaction volume and boost XRP's overall liquidity.
Those kinds of catalysts could really send the price soaring.
Yeah. And it's not just traditional institutions either.
Right.
We're seeing more fintech companies exploring blockchain technology.
That's true.
And those partnerships could be just as important.
Absolutely.
It's like this whole ecosystem forming around XRP with this immense potential for growth.
But it's not all smooth sailing.
Right. We have to be realistic about the challenges, too.
You're absolutely right.
For example, there's always the issue of competition.
Yeah.
We've talked about USDT and USDC. But there are tons of other projects out there.
Right.
Competing for dominance in the payment space.
For sure.
XRP needs to prove it can not only compete, but thrive in this crowded landscape.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about that ever-present regulatory uncertainty.
Right. Even though things seem more positive now,
Yeah.
that global regulatory landscape is still a bit of a Wild West.
It's constantly changing.
Yeah.
And it could have a significant impact on XRP's trajectory.
True. And then there's the issue of Ripple Labs themselves, potentially creating selling pressure.
Right.
Remember, they still hold a large chunk of XRP. And as they release those tokens,
Yeah.
it could put downward pressure on the price.
That's definitely something to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's a factor that could limit XRP's potential for growth. So it seems like there's this constant push and pull between the positive factors driving XRP's growth and the potential roadblocks that could hold it back.
It's a delicate balance.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it'll be fascinating to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, it's like we're watching a high-stakes game,
Right.
and we're all on the edge of our seats to see who comes out on top.
Yeah. But remember, even with all the focus on price and market cap, it's important to zoom out and look at the bigger picture.
Absolutely.
XRP is just one piece of the larger crypto puzzle.
Right.
The real story is the transformation of finance that's happening right before our eyes.
You're absolutely right. This is about so much more than just one token.
Or one company.
It's about a fundamental shift in how we think about money.
Value.
And the very fabric of our financial systems.
And that's what makes it so exciting, right?
We're witnessing a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
It's impossible to predict exactly how it will all play out, but one thing's for sure.
What's that?
It's going to be a wild ride.
Speaking of wild rides, those AI insights we discussed, they also highlighted some specific factors that could potentially impact XRP's growth trajectory.
Yes, they provided some really valuable perspectives.
Like, for example, ChatGPT emphasized the crucial role of market sentiment.
Right.
You know, as long as the bull market continues, it believes XRP has the potential to ride that wave and achieve substantial gains.
It even hinted at XRP potentially reaching double-digit territory.
Wow.
Which would be quite remarkable.
Imagine XRP trading at $10 or even higher.
Yeah, it would be a true testament to its resilience and growth potential.
Yeah. But of course, we need to remember these are just projections.
Absolutely.
And the crypto market is known for its volatility and unpredictability.
Yeah, no one can predict the future.
Absolutely. And Perplexity, with its ability to analyze vast amounts of information, emphasize the importance of adoption levels, especially in the realm of cross-border payments.
Right.
It believes that if financial institutions really embrace XRP as a bridge currency, the demand could skyrocket.
It's a compelling argument. We've seen how institutional interest has surged in recent years. And if that continues, XRP, with its focus on cross-border transactions, is perfectly positioned to benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's that whole fascinating world of partnerships.
Right.
Imagine Ripple striking deals with even more prominent banks and payment providers.
Right.
That would increase transaction volume on the XRP ledger and significantly enhance its overall liquidity.
Those kinds of developments could really ignite XRP's price and propel it to new heights.
Yeah, and it's not just traditional financial institutions either. We're seeing more fintech companies exploring blockchain technology.
That's true.
And those partnerships could be just as impactful, if not more so.
Absolutely.
It's like this vibrant and interconnected ecosystem is forming around XRP.
Yeah.
And the potential for growth seems boundless.
But we have to acknowledge the challenges too, right?
Right.
It's not all sunshine and roses.
Right.
We need to be realistic about the potential hurdles that XRP might encounter along the way.
For instance, there's the constant pressure of competition.
Yeah.
We've discussed USDT and USDC.
Right.
But there are countless other crypto projects vying for dominance in the payment space.
For sure.
XRP needs to demonstrate its ability to compete and excel in this crowded and dynamic landscape.
And let's not forget about the ever-present regulatory uncertainty.
Right.
Even with a seemingly more favorable climate under Trump, the global regulatory landscape remains in flux.
It's so complex.
It's a complex and constantly evolving environment, and it could definitely impact XRP's trajectory.
True. And then there's the issue of potential selling pressure from Ripple Labs themselves.
Yeah.
They still hold a considerable portion of XRP, and their periodic releases of those tokens could exert downward pressure on the price.
That's a valid concern that investors need to be mindful of.
Yeah.
Is yet another factor that could potentially limit XRP's upside potential.
So it appears we have this constant interplay between the positive forces driving XRP's growth and the potential roadblocks that could impede its progress.
It's like a game with two sides battling it out.
It's a captivating dynamic.
A delicate balance between opportunity and challenge.
Yeah.
And it's going to be incredibly intriguing to witness how it all unfolds.
Who will win out?
Right.
Maybe both.
It is a collaborative ecosystem, after all.
But remember, with all the focus on price and market cap, let's not forget the bigger picture.
Absolutely.
XRP is just one piece of a much larger crypto puzzle.
Right. The real story here is the profound transformation of finance that's happening right before our very eyes.
Absolutely. This is about so much more than just the fate of one token or one company.
Right.
It's about a fundamental shift in how we perceive and interact with money value and the very foundations of our financial systems.
And that's what makes this journey so captivating.
Yeah.
We're witnessing a paradigm shift, a seismic change in the way things work.
Hmm.
And it's impossible to predict with certainty how it will all unfold. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be an exhilarating ride.
And as we navigate this uncharted territory,
Mm-hmm.
it's crucial to remember that knowledge is our compass.
Absolutely.
The more we understand the forces at play,
Mm-hmm.
the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions and navigate the twists and turns ahead.
Absolutely. And that's where ongoing learning and exploration come in.
Right.
We need to stay curious, stay informed, and constantly seek out new perspectives and insights.
Exactly, and that's what we aim to do here.
Right.
To provide you with the information and context you need to make sense of this complex and rapidly evolving world.
Because in the end, it's not just about the technology or the price fluctuations. It's about what all of this means for us as individuals, as a society, and for the future of finance as a whole.
Well said, we've talked about it a lot.
Yeah,
But there's even more to consider.
there is.
Let's take a moment to gather our thoughts.
Right.
We'll be back soon to wrap up our discussion on XRP's journey to $1 trillion market cap. Welcome back, everyone. So we've covered a lot of ground, right? Market sentiment, adoption partnerships, competition, even those AI predictions about XRP's future. It seems like the path to $1 trillion market cap, if it's even possible, is a pretty complex one.
It really is. And that's why it's so important to stay informed, right? Keep track of all these moving parts. They're all connected, constantly influencing each other and shaping the landscape for XRP and the entire crypto space.
It's like this giant puzzle that's constantly evolving.
Exactly.
But let's zoom out for a second and think about what this all means for you listening.
Yeah,
Why should you care if XRP hits $1 trillion or not?
that's a great question. I think it goes beyond just potential profits.
Okay.
Even if XRP